I managed to sort of injure myself when I was on holiday.
Yeah.
I twisted my sort of ankle like really badly. I fell down 200 steps
Jeez.
from the top, but I mean, like I only actually fell down one of them, but it was a set of 200 steps.
Okay.
So you know.
I was just imagining you bouncing along down this huge. It's like going off of Mordor, like climbing up the steps. You go past Frodo and Sam.
That's what it felt like. So yeah, I've been hobbling around myself like the last couple of weeks. That's it's pretty much just healed, but it certainly sounds better to say, you know, I fell down 200 steps. And I only twisted my ankle.
Yeah, that's very amazing. So, well, you know, it really always sucks. Like whenever anything bad happens, you know, like you've got your health, and then when you don't get your health or you get injured, you're just like, wow, I just can't wait to have everything working again.
Yeah, it kind of just reminded me that we're actually like pretty delicate from sitting inside all day, aren't we? And
yes, delicate little riders. We need to get out and toughen up some more. So
maybe that's why they chose you to bundle in the back of the van.
They're like, you've gotten soft. So, well, it's I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you're back and safe and rested up now. Sounds like a tragedy.
And
there we go again.
We're in one piece, if not a little crooked.
So let's get into this one. We've got two more of these, and today's is about the tragedy. This is one of the 7 basic plots by Christopher Booker. And of course, immediately you go to William Shakespeare when you're thinking about tragedy. I remember a friend I was talking to, she read my book. She's from Hungary. And she's like, why is this, like this has this happy ending at the end of it. And I don't understand Americans and all your happy endings, you know, and in Eastern countries, we don't have any happy endings. And so I think, you know, like tragedy in the United States, I don't know if it's the same in England, but they're very few and far between for stories that actually end in tragedy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because, you know, I mean, but we're obviously like really lucky, you know, in these parts of the world, and we have great lives, but we kind of like feel like we don't, you know, especially in England, like we like to complain mostly about the weather, but complain in general. And I think we do turn to fiction sometimes to kind of like escape our own perceived tragedy. So like that's my personal like hypothesis on why we avoid them.
Because we definitely seem to, you know, like the idea of, you know, when things go bad, well, even when you're looking at and it wouldn't, under the categories that we're going to discuss here, it wouldn't fall exactly under tragedy, but George R. I was just going to call him Tolkien. Martin, you know, he
same thing. I think that's what he was going for.
But you know, his Game of Thrones has a lot of it makes a lot of people mad when they read it, you know, because of all the character deaths that happen in the book. So and everyone, I think, keeps holding on, hoping, you know, that things turn out better. So we're going to go through here, and
it's like we come away from the book with like attachment issues by the time you finish Game of Thrones. You're like, I'm scared to get close to anyone now in like the real world.
I know, because they could be dead any moment. Yeah. I don't even go to weddings anymore. Like,
I used to love a good wedding.
Not anymore. So, especially if the band isn't playing well, I'm like, oh, those are all killers up there. I'm out. So,
eyeing them suspiciously over the top of your champagne glass.
So, the tragedy as laid forth in this is interesting, I think. It has 5 stages, and it starts with the anticipation stage. And so we do have a hero. We're not. It's not an anti-hero. It's not a villain. We really do have a hero here in the book that's feeling like something is missing out of their life. You know, it's a very natural human emotion to feel, you know, that there's something not right, you know, and like you wake up every morning and you're like, you know, something's just a little bit off. I need something. There's so, you know, basic motivations, whether it's power, greed, love, lust, fortune, fame, all that type of stuff. You know, there's something that's not quite right that needs to be fulfilled. And that's where this starts. This so like Romeo, like in the beginning of Romeo, he has a love life, but he's feeling frustrated by it, that it's not everything that he wanted, and he's hoping for more out of life.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because this is quite different to some of the other plots and like narrative journeys we've discussed, because the hero is starting out with kind of like a drive and a want for something, and instead of it coming like knocking on their door, it happens in a lot of the other plots where they're just going about their everyday life, like living on a farm or something, and and then you get the call to action. This is very much they want that thing already.
They do. And this is, I think, as explained in this one, all tragedies boil down to that, beware what you ask for, because you just might get it, and you really don't know how your life's going to change when you acquire that thing that you want, and what the sacrifice and what you have to give up to get it.
And what you're going to do, and like what side of you is going to be revealed, through your pursuit of the thing.
Exactly, because we've discussed in the last few episodes in some of these where you really get into the hero looking at themselves, and they see themselves. Maybe there is darkness in their life, but they overcome it. Well, this one here is going to be the opposite. This one is going to be giving into that darkness and moving into more problems, and that takes us into the dream stage. And this is where the hero has identified what it is that they want, and they go after it. And things actually go okay. That they sometimes will even, they'll get a hold of it, whatever it is. But we can see, as the reader, we see this hero driving towards that cliff that they don't see up ahead. And we know that things aren't going to go exactly how they want it to.
And I think that's probably where the strangely familiar feeling creeps in, that we can relate to, where it's kind of like, the nothing lasts forever stage, and it's, you kind of wish you didn't get it because it was better before you had it, sort of thing.
Thank you for listening, and come back next week for more. Please visit thebookeditorshow.com for show notes, links to guests, books and extras, and for information on how to be a guest on the show.